Hello! Welcome to Monoglossia and France by Night. I am Iglika and today I would like to talk to you about the IELTS Indicator exam, which I took earlier today. So actually in many aspects there is very little difference between IELTS Indicator, which is the coronavirus edition, and a regular IELTS exam. And I'm going to focus only on the differences. First of all, I'll give you a little background about why and how I took this exam. I never thought I would need to take an English proficiency exam again. I took the TOEFL back in 2006 when I was just out of an international high school, after which I did all my university studies in the UK, in English obviously. And after that I have been working as a professional translator from English, and I have prepared some students to take exams like the IELTS. So actually I was a little, maybe not mad, but surprised and felt that it would be a waste of time. I wouldn't get much out of taking this exam. That's one of the reasons why I really wanted to share some details about it with you. Maybe I can be helpful in some way. So this being said, actually I did feel like the exam was useful for someone with my background. First of all, there is a grade that corresponds to the so-called expert, that is 9 for the IELTS. So experts do take or are considered to be able to take such an exam. Then actually these language exams provide some interesting general knowledge that, for example, you would never get me to just read information about some random topic like homeopathy, but now I know that the two main theories of homeopathy are that like heals like, as in one should look for a remedy that imitates the symptoms of the disease, and that even very diluted substances can be of use without their properties changing. So this was a side note. Another thing for me personally was that even though I haven't taken an English language exam for a long time, occasionally I take exams in other languages. Over the past few years I have taken the French DALF, the Spanish DELE, the Italian CELI, and recently the Japanese JLPT exams. And there are a lot of similarities in the way you practice for an exam and the way you take an exam that are not, the language doesn't matter that much. There's some common features of exams. For example, as I was doing the listening and getting everything, I was thinking back about the last time I did a Japanese listening during an exam and how I was thinking all the time, wasn't that the answer? I heard them talk about this thing that's asked in the question, but then I'm not sure why they're talking for so long. And hearing the equivalent in English helped me understand why people would be talking for so long, what they would be discussing, and so on. So the IELTS indicator. Why indicator? Because it only provides an indicative score, as it is not a traditional exam. I understand why this would be the case, but honestly it seems extremely professionally made. It is entirely online and from home. Actually, I really needed to take an exam as quickly as possible, as I am applying for a mixed Japanese government scholarship. And I noticed that there weren't many exams available in the next few days or even weeks. And I happened to type IELTS from home, and that's how I found out about this edition of IELTS, which is supposed to only replace IELTS during the time of quarantine, when people are not that able to go and take the actual exam. But a number of institutions, you can check that on their website, a number of institutions do take the IELTS indicator result into consideration. But you should ask if you're not sure, of course. The price was $149, regular price, more on the cheap side. The sections were the usual suspects. Speaking, which was separate. I actually did it 3 or 4 days ago. And then today I had listening, reading and writing tests. There is nothing specific about preparation, as the sections are really the same as they would be in the original IELTS exam. It is suggested that you practice using Zoom. Zoom is used for the speaking part of the exam. Apparently Skype is no longer in fashion. And in terms of preparation, I personally had this, I call it a cookie, I don't know if it's its official name, a backup internet connection, which I didn't need. But I did actually have some technical problems in the last moment, which were resolved. For the second part of the test, you need to download the so-called safety exam browser, which I think is a genius invention. What it does is it takes you completely out of your computer environment, even out of your operating system, so it seems, and you just see this screen. Your camera and microphone are on absolutely all the time to make sure that you are not going somewhere or talking to someone or trying to use materials, try to use the internet. There is a checkup which is advised to be taken around 24 hours before the actual exam. I did that, during which I had to type in the ID and password and then PIN, and then I had to type them again for the actual exam. They asked me to take a picture of myself using the computer camera, and then to take a picture of my ID document. And that was it for the test the day before. On the day of the exam, you log in the same way, and then really you have just the traditional IELTS exam. It being taken from home, well, if you have ever performed any work or studies at home, then you know how you feel about this kind of environment. Usually people point out as an advantage the fact that you're calm because you're at home, but then also there is the disadvantage of not associating your home with work and with serious activity in general. You can literally see your bed in the background, yet you absolutely have to stay motionless in front of the screen. You cannot go to the toilet, you cannot stand under any circumstances. I guess it's like that during the official IELTS exam too. Also, to me it was a bit strange knowing that the camera and microphone were on all the time. I was thinking, is someone watching me? Is a computer program watching me? Is there like a room full of screens that show different test takers at the same time? Anyway, I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about this. I was mostly focusing on the exam. I was a little disappointed because I was hoping to finish early. Actually, this is not an option. You cannot click next until the time expires completely. Not even for the last part of the exam, the writing bit. You have to wait. And as I was going really fast, actually, I had maybe 15 to 20 minutes left at the end of first of the reading section, and it felt very strange not knowing what to do. Obviously I could go back and check all my answers, but I knew I couldn't stand or read something on the computer or on any other device or even read a book. I shouldn't even look around too much in case it looks like I'm reading something. So what I chose to do was to just lie back and close my eyes a bit, which I think was great in these circumstances because my eyes were tired and they were going to continue getting tired during the next part of the exam. So if you're wondering what to do, I recommend you close your eyes a bit so they relax. But try not to fall asleep because there aren't very loud indications of the next part of the exam and you may end up just missing your exam because you fell asleep. In terms of the speaking, maybe I didn't say much. It was on Zoom. I had a little problem in that I had written that I'm a Bulgarian national, but then I had thought that they're giving me the French time for the exam, but then it actually turned out to be the Bulgarian time. I did log in a lot early, an hour early, just to be sure. But I really wasn't expecting it when I was let into the Zoom room and when the lady started talking to me. I was a little surprised. But it all went well, really nothing specific. The lady was really nice, really kind. So now I'm waiting for the results. Obviously, they're supposed to arrive in the next up to 7 days, they say. My personal guess will be that I will have an expert grade, 9 or 8.5. Then of course, if I'm wrong, and I will tell you, please do make fun of me in the comments. Please do, because it would do me good. Actually, I think that would be quite original to maybe keep on taking some English proficiency tests and like you can bet on how high and how low I'm going to score. Maybe that would be fun. Just some food for thought. That's it for tonight.